Brothers and sisters, welcome to In the Breakroom with TWU Local 555. I'm Eric Peterson, Communications Director for the Local, and we're in Los Angeles, LAX, celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month as part of our Heritage Month series from September 15th until October 15th. It's Hispanic Heritage Month. The reason behind that is because that is kind of centrally when the Independence Days of Central American countries are. Hispanic Heritage Month was first recognized by Lyndon Johnson in the late 60s, finally signed into a 1-month celebration by Ronald Reagan in the 1980s, and now every year during that month, it's Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm pleased to be joined by Michelle Garay. She is from LAX, an ops agent. I've talked with her before, and I'm happy to talk with her again. Welcome, Michelle.
Hi, how you doing, Eric?
I'm doing very, very well. Thank you so much for coming in the break room with me and talking to me about Hispanic Heritage Month. First off, let's just get to know you a little bit. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Michelle Garay. So I'm working for Southwest about 7 years already. I'm enjoying the community of civil human rights for about 2 years. And yes, and I'm here having this conversation with you today.
Where is your heritage from?
I'm from Nicaragua.
Okay.
Specific from Granada City. And I just came here like 20 years ago.
So you were born in Nicaragua?
Yeah, born and raised in Nicaragua.
And your family as well?
My family, my mom, my dad is from Nicaragua too.
And then did you move straight to Los Angeles?
Yeah, when I came here for the first time, I moved straight to LA.
Okay, take us back to that right when you moved to the United States of America. Like, what were you thinking? What was the assimilation like?
Back in the time that I was in Nicaragua, I wasn't even thinking to come here. The only reason I came is because my parents moved over here. So I was in my third year of university because I was studying engineering computer back over there. And then my mom offered me to move over here to join with her. The economy was not great. So it's being like that. Signed as our president, Daniel Ortega. I don't know if you know about him.
I've heard the name.
Yeah. So he being there for almost I would say more than 10 years. So because of the economy and the future that I would have in, so I decided to move with my mom here.
It's probably a story that you hear often when you hear about people coming from some of the countries in Central America where, the economy and the political situation is not quite as stable and you just want a better life for you and your family. And then you end up right here in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah, it's correct. I mean, the situation in Nicaragua is not good. And in other countries too, like Salvador. Well, Salvador now is impressed. I'm very impressed about the new president, how he's doing things over there and how he cleaned our houses with all these gangsters and things like that. So now it's safety. But particularly in my country, it is safe to go, but you don't gonna have what we have here. Like right now, I have my own house. I purchased a house. My kids, I'm in the safe school. So I wouldn't have that future for my kids. So I wouldn't stay over there. So I'm glad that my mom invited me to move over here. At the beginning, I'm telling the truth, it was very hard.
I bet.
Super difficult, especially with the language, learning English. I remember when I was in high school, we had that English class, just the basic class. And I always say, I don't need it to learn that class because I'm never going to use it. Guess what? I'm here now. And I have to start from zero to learn the language, to interact with other cultures, other people, and learn how they speak or how I can speak in different situations. So it's a lot to learn. It was a big process. It was a big shock on cultures.
So when you first moved here, did you kind of slide in with the Nicaraguan community here in, Southern California? So you had some comfort? Was that something that you found easy to find to make things feel a little bit more like home, or was it more difficult than that?
It was more difficult than that because here, particularly in California, it's not too many Nicaraguan people that you can find. So to be honest, I don't know. No, it's just I don't know other people besides my family that are from Nicaragua. So to have that related with other Nicaraguan people, you got to go to another states like Miami, Orlando, New York, so you will see them. But also here, I just noticed like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they're starting doing those festivals,
Hmm.
like celebrating the Hispanics of the heritage, not only for South America, as they used to do it only South America, Colombia, Brazil. Now they including our Central America countries, which is Nicaragua, Salvador, Costa Rica. So going to those festivals is like you a little have a little piece of your country.
Yeah, that's got to be kind of special. You get to smell those smells of food that you smelled when you were a kid that you probably miss. Los Angeles is a huge city. Probably trying to find a Nicaraguan restaurant in Los
Yes.
Angeles, you would think, oh, it would be a piece of cake, just a
Hmm.
snap. But you actually have to go out and look for it. And the fact that communities come together and create these festivals to be able to have members come together and create that camaraderie, that's got to be something special. But it took a while, right?
Yes, it is. It took a while, to be honest. Like I say, to have those festivals now every year, and then getting bigger and bigger festival because it started small. I remember it was the first one that I went. It was Exposition Park, very small festival, nothing big, but like you say, just to smell the food and remember. It made me cry.
Uh, I don't want to make you cry. I want to make you happy. I want to give good memories.
Remember those, moments that it take you back when you was over there in Nicaragua in your childhood, like enjoying the food. Just one of the famous food from my country is the gallo pinto, which one is rice and bean mixed. And that was a dinner for us to have that. Oh my God, that's so delicious.
Well, now I have to put that on my list of things to try and find if I
Yes,
see a
you must
Nicaraguan
need to
festival
try.
in Portland. Yes.
Yes.
There's something like a Hispanic Heritage Month. It's probably more for people who don't know or know to appreciate the different cultures that are within our country. So it brings awareness. Someone like me, I may go 15 years without meeting somebody from Nicaragua, but if there is, a month like this where you can kind of be made more aware of the different cultures that make up this melting pot that is our country. So I think personally that's kind of a great thing that we have a Hispanic Heritage Month. But for you, Hispanic Heritage is 12 months out of the year.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what your Hispanic heritage means to you as far as the values that you had growing up that you like to bring to your family now and for generations to come?
For me, is very it's very important to show my kids my tradition, my culture, where I'm coming from, and especially to pass them the way that we create, the way that we make the food. Like I said, the gallo pinto, the rice and beans together. What was the special? Because sometimes they ask me, "What is this? What is this food? What is so special for you, mommy?" And then I explain it. Also, my traditions, when it like September 14th is Independence Days for us.
Right.
So it's a big festival over there in Nicaragua. And then pass that to them. And August is another celebration that we have. It's from my city, particularly from Granada, and talk about it and show it to them in the videos. How people like, what's it called? Open so much, give you so much. They probably have just a little, but they are so into and celebrating and make us proud, and show out, okay, here is Nicaragua. We're tiny, but we're here.
So, yeah, I mean, you talked about how you left Nicaragua under circumstances that economy wise and politically wise were not the greatest. But that's not what a country is made up of. It's made up of the people. So that is what you bring to your new country is those values, right?
Yeah, the values that are responsibility, our culture. What I bring to this country and what I'm giving to this country is that we showing here in the United States to these people that we are part of the economic of the United States because we're hard workers.
Mm-hmm.
We are very responsible on our job. We are like people that we never give up. Once we set up a goal, we're going for that goal. Over there in our country, everything is so hard to get it, and especially when you have like we are like lower level, so it's hard even for buying a food. Is you must need to appreciate it. That's what I'm teaching my kids. Sometimes they don't want to eat their food that I make, and then they say, "I don't want to eat." But it's a lot of people who need this food. You don't know how many people over there in Nicaragua would like to have the taste, or you are saying no right now. And it is hard. That's why when we coming over here, we do appreciate it to be here. I do appreciate it to be here, and then my mom, through my mom, give me the opportunity to come here. I do appreciate it, and I'm showing up to her that what I'm doing, where I am right now. It's like I say, I am in the level that I have my own house. My kids are on the best schools. I have the blessed to be in this company with Southwest, and also to share my members where I'm coming from, my traditions, my culture, my food. It's a bless to me.
I mean, it's when people talk about the American dream, I think you just explained it there in about 3 minutes. I mean, that should just be put on a postcard or put on a billboard and said, "This is what we talk about. Give us your tired, your bored, your huddled masses. We are that country that calls for that." And I really appreciate that aspect of your story. And thank you so much for sharing it with me and sharing it with all of our members. So, how do you specifically celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month?
Well, what we do on that day, well, we just had an opportunity that my husband brought his whole family. So actually, last year was our first year that we celebrated. Has a big family because I had my family here, but he was by himself. So he had the opportunity to bring his family because it was a law that come out from the government. It called parole, that one it make the opportunity who people who is have resident or or they became a citizen, they can bring their family.
Mhm.
So he has the opportunity to bring all his families, his sister, his mom, and nieces and nephews. So last year we did celebrate it because they love so much to cook a traditional food in Nicaragua. On my side, my family, they're not too much going into because they became more American than anything else. So my sister-in-law, she's the one make all the food that day. I remember we got together and by my family, and we requested to dress up whatever you have as a in Nicaragua. So they was dressing up with the folklorics dresses, and my sister-in-law, like I say, she cooked everything traditional, which one from my country, from I'm sorry, from in Nicaragua. I mean Granada, the specific food that make it recognize who is you are from Granada is called vigoron, which one is yuca and pork all together with the little pico de gallo on the top. So she made that. She made the gallo pinto, the plantain, fried plantain, fried cheese, and that's the way we celebrated that day and recognize and remembers our people who's still over there and our people who like fight for us, to become independent.
That's great. Are there other Nicaraguan people here at your station?
Yes.
Okay.
One of the CSA's customer service agents, she is from Nicaragua. She always on December, because it's a traditional too.
Mhm.
On December, we make our big play from actually that represent Nicaragua, which is called Nacatamal. It's like a tamal, but it's a little bit bigger, like a little square bigger.
Okay, we've spent like 5 minutes just making me hungry right before
Yeah.
lunch.
It's a lot of food. Nicaragua has so much food, like a lot of diversity in food that you don't believe it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for the food.
So-
I'm gonna have to look for the festivals, the dance, the music,
Yeah, and the
all of the
music.
things I want to know more about. So thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing. One thing I wanted to touch on, and it has to do with your work for the Civil and Human Rights Committee. And how long have you been with that committee?
I've been in the community for 2 years. Yeah, I just
And-
turned 2 years.
And why was it important for you to be part of that committee?
When they offered me the opportunity to apply, the reason that I did is because I just want to be part of the community of civil rights to represent my people, my Latino people, my Hispanic people, and also like make them feel more comfortable. Who people who have like this as a second language, Spanish sometimes like we don't feel comfortable to speak English when it's like any situations, so you feel more comfortable to speak in your own language. So I'm thinking that I have my second language, which one is Spanish, is my first one, English is my second one.
Mhm.
So I thinking that I was like, okay, I know I can help people like that feel more comfortable if you wanted to speak in your own language, because I totally understand, because I'm going through that too sometimes. Like, I don't feel comfortable to say things in English while I can be more like open or developing in my own language. So I'll say, like, if I'm being part of the community, civil rights human, I know I can help them so much.
I don't want to get political about it. We have very many members who have differing political opinions. There is a sentiment since, the mid 2000s, 2005, 2006, where the Hispanic community has been used as a political football for both political parties, meaning it's an issue that they can carry until election day to try to get votes. But one thing I've also noticed about Hispanic people is there's a tenacity involved where that can be over here, but what they're focused on is their family, their job, and then their family, and then their job, and their home, and their community. That all can go on the outside, and they can play their games with our community. And when it's time to fight, we'll fight. But for the most part, you guys can be the noise, and we'll be the signal. Meaning, we're not going to let you use us. Do you ever feel that or think that? Turn on the news and be like, yeah, you guys can just keep talking. I'm going to go about my life.
Yeah, I feel it like that too. It's just like our Latino people, they're more like you say, they're focused on our family, have families together. It's like tradition, like we always do it over there in our countries, different country, whatever you are, the families comes first. So we always together families, and our job is the second one. We always, as long as you have a job and have money that you can, that you have food that you can bring into the table to your family, that don't matter. But when they touches are things that is wrong and are rights, they're trying to take advantage of that. That's when we pick up. That's when we talk. That's when you hear our voice.
There you
fighting for what we want and what we need.
And what you deserve.
And what we deserve, yes. Because we give them so much to this country that we also would deserve something. So that's why it's when we make noise. We can be quiet, but when you touch us, you will see Latinos fighting and screaming on the door.
There's one final question that I like asking everybody, and your situation can relate to it very well because you and your family kind of followed the American dream and you got yourself a secure life, be able to secure good schools, you got yourself a great job. But on top of that, you're part of another part of the American dream, and that is being part of organized labor and being part of a union, that extra layer of protection and community and camaraderie. What does that mean to you?
Being a part of the union mean to me is like pick up my voice, stand up for myself and for my members too, especially for my own people, my Latino people. That is meant to be part of the union members, to respect my rights, make things sure that others respect our rights. Yeah, like I say, stand up for myself and for my others, for my family too.
See how I tied that all together with my previous question?
Yeah.
All right. She is Michelle Garay. I am Eric Peterson. We are in the Breakroom. We are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. Michelle, thank you so much for your time and sharing your story.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you for everything.
How do you say we are 555 in Espanol?
Nosotros somos 555.